another race. We need the points. It didn't seem to matter that these athletes had already swum 5 races and that their arms and legs were practically falling off. When we needed someone to give up their race to let another swimmer compete for the first time, there was no hesitation. At competitions, it didn't seem to be enough just to cheer for each other. It was Stanstead Spartans who continually encouraged swimmers from all schools. It was Stanstead Spartans who could be seen standing on the edge of the pool, boosting the last swimmer from Galt to keep going. I can't tell you how often I was beaming with pride for this. For me, it is truly the defining moment of this mighty team. Congratulations, swimmers, and thank you for a truly inspirational season. You wore the Stanstead colors with pride, you gave your hearts and souls to each other, and you showed the true meaning of compassion. You made me truly proud to be part of the team. We would like to award 2 Junior S's this year. The first one goes to Amanda DeGrasse, who is still in Australia and therefore a little bit far away to come and accept her award. But the second Junior S goes to a young woman who is a veteran on the team. She is one of our most dependable and reliable swimmers, always placing in the top 3. More than that, though, she is an athlete who takes risks. And this year she chose to add 2 difficult distances to her repertoire with great success. Her positive attitude and determination are true marks of character. This year's second Junior S is awarded to Kimlee Botten. The Sportsmanship Award this year is given to an athlete who was loved by everyone on the team. She always had a smile on her face and was selfless in her actions towards others. She supported everybody and thrived on support from those same people. She once told me how much she loved coming to swimming because everyone was so encouraging, but it was she who encouraged others with her sheer determination. She tried anything and everything. The word obstacle was simply not in this athlete's vocabulary. This athlete went from somebody who could barely swim in November to winning a 3rd place on the senior relay team. I am very pleased and proud to present this year's Sportsmanship Award to Dieu Ling. Our final award tonight is the MVP Award. This award goes to an athlete who not only shows great skill, but also demonstrates strong leadership and a willingness to help others. This veteran won the ETIAC Junior Girls Championship. She placed first in every qualifying heat and every competitive race that she swam. Yes, first in every race. This year's MVP and Junior S winner is co-captain Jasmine Richter.
The senior boys basketball program, Mr. Quinn.
So the plan tonight is to keep it short and sweet. Did you want to start or not? My 5 minutes starts now. To start, I need to thank Miss Alta for all that she does, which includes but is not limited to my frequent candy pit stops. To the Skittles crew, Miss Reynolds, Marie Soleil, Momoko, and Marley the Gimp Guadioso. Thank you for your tireless work at the scorer's table. Mr. Van Dyke and Miss Wolf, despite your brutal scheduling for our team, which included, if I remember correctly, 12 games in 15 days or 15 games in 17 days, we managed to make it work. I'm also appreciative of the chalk talks and the bus ride strategy sessions. So thank you very much. Sure. And finally, to Mr. Blair, to call you an assistant coach is a gross understatement. Mr. Blair and I worked together seamlessly throughout the year. We traded off roles and developed an effective coaching style almost naturally. Not only could he provide sound coaching advice, but what is perhaps most impressive to everyone is that you were able to demonstrate the ideas that we talked about as a player. And just in case any of the boys don't remember, all I need to say is 42-40, and after tonight, 49-48. And thank you for the free dress day tomorrow. So on to the senior boys. Now the senior boys definitely were not the senior girls soccer team. I'm not saying they were better or worse. I'm just saying that to my senior girls, I missed you this season. But all kidding aside, as a coach, it's important to be challenged. And these boys fully embrace that idea, at times pushing Mr. Blair and I to our breaking point. But over the course of the year, I think we had plenty of good times. Starting the season based off how the program had been run over the previous 3 or 4 years, I think it's safe to say that nobody was expecting anything of us. But I think it's also safe to say that we exceeded all expectations. We raised 2 banners, including a provincial finalist and a league playoff championship, which was won in decisive fashion. We worked for that growth, and I'm honestly proud to have been a part of the development of each and every one of these kids. At the beginning of the season, we had 13 individuals, and through hard work, we became a team. Now, this didn't come easily. There were definitely the good, the bad, and the ugly, or in other words, 3 words we've used to describe the impact that one Michael Zarife has had on our team, or what has become known as the Zarife effect. But in all sincerity, Mr. Blair and I cannot be prouder of these boys. And though you are not all winning awards tonight, I hope you all know that you played a significant role in the success of this season. I think there are many ways to describe a successful team, and one standard that I live by is playing your best at the end of the season when it counts most. And I think in the RSEQ championship, we played our best basketball, and you should all be very proud of that. Now on to the awards. The sportsmanship this year, we've chosen 2 players for the Sportsmanship Award. These 2 players always remain positive no matter what may have been happening around them. They worked hard to stay committed not only to their own personal growth and personal improvement, but to the overall improvement of the team. This year's sportsmanship winners are Thomas Abbott and Diego Gill. Yeah, come up. This year we're awarding 2 senior S's. I'll describe both of these players and then I'll bring you up together. So the first recipient of the senior S is an individual who transformed not only as a basketball player but as a person throughout the season. Though challenging at times, he's arguably one of the players that had the biggest impact on the court. He had a unique ability to be the spark plug and really get things going for us. The second recipient of a senior S is a young man who played what I consider probably the toughest position on the basketball court. But of course I may be biased because it is also the position I play. As one of the youngest members of the team, he was charged with the job of handling the ball, leading an offense, and setting the pace of play. He did all of these things with a confidence that steadily grew throughout the year, and I look forward to seeing his continued growth as a player over the coming years. It's appropriate that these two be called up together because they have the strangest, most love, angry swearing at each other in French bromance. So the 2 recipients are Michael Zarife and Alexis Bernier. This year I'm also awarding, Mr. Blair and I are also awarding 2 major S's. The first major S goes to a player who carried us through the first half of the season on his broad shoulders. He carried the responsibility of motivating his teammates, leading by example, and doing all the little things right. He was willing to listen to our advice and pull his teammates along, sometimes kicking and screaming. And as a new coach, it's important to have a veteran like him that I could rely on. I'm happy to award this major S to Richard Legler. The second major S goes to a player that pushed us over the top in the second half of the year. Simply put, he's the quiet leader. His athleticism, intelligence, and speed made him all but unstoppable on the court. He shined most during the league playoffs, where he almost single-handedly led our team to victory. We missed him early in the season due to an injury, but he made up for lost time later in the year. This award undoubtedly goes to Loe Al-Rashdi. The MVP award this year is shared between 2 very deserving players, both hardworking, both intelligent, and both dedicated to the growth of the team as a whole. Mr. Blair and I knew that we could always turn to one of these key players to score a crucial bucket or get a critical stop when we needed it most. We are proud to present the MVP award to Richard Legler and Loe Al-Rashdi.
Varsity boys hockey, Mr. Poliziani.
I'm nervous. I'd like to thank Mr. Wolf for the opportunity to get up here and speak. I had been banned from speeches from this moment last year to this point. I think it's only fair to say, however, that I have an electronic device attached to my person, the other end of which is in the hands of Mr. Wells. And the moment this speech goes south, I will receive 240 volts of electric current. Everybody's been thanked, Mr. Rayu, the arena staff. The one person I think that was left out was Matt Thompson, my assistant, who is very much my right-hand man. And everyone knows what a wonderful way he has with children in the classroom, with you students in the classroom. And he's exceptional with these players. He's their best friend. And he's the person they go to if they have issues with me or with anything regarding school. He's also someone I consider to be my best friend. And I think most of I don't think that's unique to me. I think most of the faculty up here and maybe some of you students feel the same towards him. So thank you, Matt Thompson. The other person I think that was left out is our bus driver, and anybody who travels as much as we do on the road knows that the very best bus drivers live and breathe and empathize with everything that you students go through, you student athletes go through, as well as the coaches. And we've been fortunate enough to have some great bus drivers, Luke being one of them, who remains, I think, one of our biggest fans and best supporters. But this year, Jean has quickly become a family member, so thank you, Jean. Jean drove us to UMass Amherst in the latter half of the season to play Vermont Academy. And I packed the bus, or packed the bags the way I normally do. I went into the storage room and I grabbed 18 clean pairs of socks, and I got up on the ladder and I weeded out the players that were injured and grabbed the rest of them and put them in the bag. And we got down to UMass Amherst, a beautiful arena, and spent a lot of time just looking around at first. And 10 minutes before we went out for warm-up, I think Olivia Fauché came out into the hall and said, "Coach, do you have any extra socks?" And I said, "Yeah, I packed them and I put them in the bag. They're in the bag with the jerseys." The moment he turned around to go back in and look for them in the bag, I realized what I had done. I had packed 18 socks for league competition. You're allowed to play 18 skaters. And I had packed one more jersey than we had socks because it was a non-league game. At that moment, Matt and I realized that I was going to have to go back into the room and tell someone to take their equipment off and their socks off. When I went back into the room, Fauché was sitting beside Dakota Albino. And Dakota is one of those players that was on our Black Aces group. I'd come to practice and he'd never know if he was a forward or a defenseman. He never knew if he was in the lineup, but he practiced and as hard as he could, and he pushed the players that were on the ice with him as hard as they could so that they could be better players. All the time knowing that it likely meant that he wasn't in the lineup. Not only did Dakota take the socks and jerseys off, he was sitting right beside Fauché, I think, take his equipment off and hand the socks to Fauché. But he went out of his way to console Fauché and the rest of the team that it was okay. He quickly got dressed in his first dress and immediately began helping us with bottles and sticks to the bench. He is likely the finest citizen I have ever coached at the varsity level ever. Dakota will receive the Sportsmanship Award, and I'll ask him to come up in a minute with the other senior S's. We had 20 new players this year, the largest recruited class I've ever been a part of. And I was adamant with Mr. Ayu that I wanted 4 right shot defensemen. And in August of last year, we only had 3. And so I got in my truck and I headed to St. Andrews College country, and I went to a showcase there, and I found this little guy named Trevor Grasby. He wasn't in any publication. He wasn't in the magazine or the brochure that the scouting information that we had. He was an add-on to fill a spot on one of the teams. He was a scrawny little guy that he got around, but he wasn't very big. He didn't take any crap from anybody. He was always, from time to time, he'd throw his stick on the back of someone's legs if he needed position in front of the net. And he could barely pass the puck across the ice. He wasn't very strong. I think, and he's still not. But I think it's fair to say that Trevor Grasby has been the most improved player on this varsity team. And certainly someone that Coach T and I feel very comfortable throwing over the boards late in competitions, and he'll receive a senior S for that. The other player is Buster Larson. Buster was the leading scorer on our team, but to be honest, most of his goals came from weaker opponents in the league. Now that's not to say that his value wasn't there when we were playing stronger teams. I think that Buster's better days are ahead of him in terms of hockey. He's a phenomenal talent. He's a magician with the puck. His learning curve from last year to this year, in terms of his growth, physical growth, and his skills was phenomenal. And I think that with big guys like that, he's going to have to learn how to apply them at the next level. I am a big believer. He was likely the hardest person. I was the hardest person on him. I was hardest on him all year long because I knew of his potential. And I believe in him because of his love for the game. He truly is an exceptional hockey player, and his better days are ahead of him. A lot of hockey ahead of him. So if all 3 of them would come up and receive their awards, I'd appreciate it. How am I doing, Mr. Wells? We have 2 major S's to hand out. The first of which goes to a player that's a postgrad. Last year when we played, 2 years ago when we used to play St. Mike's, it was one of the only games that we thought, that we knew we were going to get 2 points from. And T and I were slow to recognize that, because every game there's a couple of guys on their team that they were always tough to play against, antagonistic. They pissed us off, and we didn't win most of those games until the late in the going in most games. We spoke with Nick Solomon late in the season and convinced him to come to Stanstead for the extra year. We quickly put an A on him and learned that not only was he a competitor, but he was a good leader. He was hard on his own players, and there oftentimes came when we had to ask him to tone it down a bit. The great thing about Nick Solomon is that he could back up whatever he said, so no matter how hard he was on his own players, he'd go out the next shift and do exactly what he was asking of his fellow teammates. The other is Liam Stagg, our captain. Guy Ouellette has agreed to put a large granite slab on the wall with a poem by a man named Rudyard Kipling, and the poem is If, and it speaks to all the qualities of what it means to be a man. And Liam Stagg exemplifies pretty much everything we've expected, T and I have expected of our players in practice. He's a unbelievably competitive athlete. He never gives up. When he's knocked down, he gets right back up. And as Rudyard said, he stoops and rebuilds with broken tools. This kid has a lot of hockey ahead of him as well, and he's an example of everything that I expect of a Stanstead hockey player. So would both of them please come up and receive their major S's? The MVP award is going to be shared as well, and I'm going to ask the same two to come up. Anytime we threw one over the board, the other was shortly to follow. So Liam and Nick, come on back up. I'm not going to say too much about the team other than the prize for most of these graduating seniors is 2 and 3 years down the road. It's not. It's just the nature of the beast with hockey at the boys' level. But I want to thank them and tell them how proud I am of the way they conducted themselves this year. The faculty should know how hard it is to go down to New England, get beat up as much as we did on certain nights, and then have to put a book in your face and or write a test on the way home. So I'm appreciative of everything they've done for Matt and I. Endless compliments on the way they conducted themselves in restaurants and in malls and hotels. So thanks very much, guys.
Girls hockey, Miss Vaillancourt.
All right, this was just a phenomenal season for our team. But first, I wish to thank a few people. I've added Marc Parent. I didn't know you were going to be part of this, so it's wonderful to have you here. And I wish to thank you for, first of all, having the best ice in North America, and for doing everything you do for us and the other boys that work with you. So thank you. I also wish to thank Dixon, Ryan, and Guillerme for their hard work behind the scenes with video, pictures, and such. I wish to thank Mr. Underhill for making our girls stronger and more powerful on a daily basis. We did not have many injuries this year, and I'm sure that's completely all because of you. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ryu, for ensuring that we're always taken care of and that we only have to worry about playing hockey wherever we go. Thank you, Britt, for ensuring that we have the best defenseman corps in North America, for hosting me on late nights or early mornings, or on snow days, for being a great friend, and for keeping me mentally sane at times. And thank you, Mr. Wolf, for caring so much about our team and for going above and beyond to be there with us. So that's sometimes from one plane to right to the rink, and finding ways to find a car to make it to a tournament. And also thank you for making me a better person, a more caring person, and a better coach. Thank you. I also wish to thank every player on our team. I wish to thank you for putting your trust in us, your coaches. I know we challenged you to the point where you can't breathe, during the 4K run, for example. Or to the point where you wonder if you're still good at hockey when I'm in your face. We challenge you to the point where you wonder if this is the right place for you, when I'm not satisfied even though we just won a game. Or to the point where you can't feel your legs during workouts with Mr. Underhill or when you're getting skated by me. We challenge you to the point that you cry and call home or cry to your friends when I call you out in front of your teammates because you are not being a team first player. And the list goes on and on of different ways that we've challenged you this season. And you know what? We might have won 41 games out of 49. We might have 10 university committed players, but that's not what I'm the most proud of. What I'm the most proud of is that you found ways to get through those challenges we put forth. You did not give up when it was tough. You found ways to get through it. You did not find excuses to skip on the challenges. You embraced them and told yourself that it was all in the head. Hey, Steffi? You told yourself that you were not part of an ordinary team, and teams that aren't ordinary have to be challenged in bigger ways and have to find ways to overcome those challenges. That's what you did, not only in games, but day in and day out. I wish that the world could see how focused happens to me every year. I wish that the world could see how focused, on task, and determined you all are during practice, workouts, and when you play. You are far from being an ordinary team. The best thing is that you do all of this while having a blast together. Okay, I'm crying, but they're all crying too, so. I know you all often complain and cry to your parents, your friends, your dorm parents, your teachers, or think about quitting the team comes February. But the reality is, you don't quit because you recognize that the tough is what makes it great. You recognize that this is actually a blessing to be challenged like you are, because most people will never have the chance to truly be challenged to their limits in their lifetime. I know you started to embrace challenges when you started asking more of each other and more of your own, instead of being quiet and boring. And I have to time out here because you guys were so boring at the start of the year. There was no life, no pride. It was just terrible, but back at it. So instead of being quiet and boring during games and practices, you started to care. You started cheering on each other and saying, "Come on, girls," when we weren't playing up to our potential. And that resonates with your speech. You cared, and it was important to you to play up to your potential as a team. You're definitely the team that have the most fun coaching, and the team that have been the most fun to spend time with. You've all definitely made the most of the season, and you've grown tremendously. We've challenged you because being challenged is real life. Having doubts in yourself and finding a way out of it is real life. Crying one night and going to work the next day is real life. But this year you've proven that you're bigger and better than real life because you actually embrace those challenges and you thrive for them. You're an extraordinary team. And I'll tell you this, I've been part of many teams in my life, and some special ones. And I know that this one is a special one, and you'll remember this one for a long time. For an extraordinary team to function, you need consistency in the little details and strong leadership. So the following players that we wish to recognize have gone above and beyond in terms of consistency and paying attention to detail. So this year's the Sportsmanship Award goes to a player who understood her role as a leader this year and who exemplified what being a team-first player means. On a daily basis, she ensured that her teammates were always at their best. This year's Sportsmanship Award goes to Katie Petal. The senior S's go to two defensemen who played every second shift all year. I don't know if you know hockey, but playing every second shift all year is quite taxing, especially when you play like 5 games in 3 days. So they played every second shift all year and went above and beyond for their team to be successful. They took charge in the D zone, and they played big for their team when their team needed it the most. This year's senior S's go to Charlie Maillot and Maude Poulain-Labelle. On to the major S's. So the first major S goes to a player who, besides the fact that she's extremely skilled already, continuously improved all year because of her work ethic and because she's just phenomenal as a whole. She outworks her teammates in practices and outworks her opponents in games. She is developing into a remarkable leader. So this major S goes to Alexis Gay. The second major S goes to a player who plays harder than anybody I know. She plays like she weighs 200 pounds. She is fearless and hates to lose battles. As a coach, I always know she will give her best, and I always know I can always trust her on the ice. She is mentally stronger, and she's worked extremely hard to get there. This major S goes to Rosalie Demers. Okay, this is the last award. And you might think we have a lot of awards, but you're not number one in the country because with just one or two players that make the difference. So the last major S and the MVP award this year goes to a player who has taken charge of her team in every sense of the term. She's made sure everybody was at their best during practices, workouts, and games by exemplifying what that means. She wanted to be the one to make her team win. She wanted to be the one that made the difference out there. She's a fantastic person. She cares about others. She always wants to improve, and she's an amazing leader. This year's Major S and MVP winner goes to Stéphanie Desjardins. Thank you, everyone. Good job, girls. And sorry for the crying, but I'm quite an intense person, so it goes with it. Thank you.
The final program of the night, Senior Girls Basketball Meet. Okay. Before I begin, two thank yous. Miss Reynolds and her Skittles crew of basketball minor officials, the best in the business, and a huge thank you to Mrs. Wolf for coaching with me. The team accomplished a lot this year and would not have happened without you. Where's Mrs. Wolf? Thank you. There is one Senior S award, and it goes to Kayla Ouellette. Now, Kayla is, without doubt, crazy short for a post player, but she is also crazy smart, crazy athletic, and crazy tough. In fact, if I had a chance to trade Kayla for any other post player in the league, I would not do it. She's too good of a defender, too good of a teammate, and too good of a person. Senior S, as well as the Sportsmanship Award, Kayla Ouellette. The first major S goes to Brianna Grapes, and not just because she is the best three-point shooter that I've ever coached. It's also because she warms up more intensely than most people play. There is no low gear for Bri. Everything with her is top speed, hard passes, and fast feet. Bree is what you get when you combine talent, intensity, and true love for the game. I can't see Bree ever getting tired of basketball. If anyone's going to play the rest of her life, it's her. Major S, Brianna Grace. The next major S goes to the most improved player on the team. Last year, she played pretty basketball. The ESPN highlight reel loved her. Three-pointers, great vision, exciting steals, high basketball IQ, violent block shots. But this year she added the dirty work to her game. Fighting for loose balls, disciplined defense, and especially rebounding. And once she made that commitment, she became one of the best all-around do-everything players that our Stanstead basketball program has ever produced. It's not easy being coached by your dad, especially when your dad is me, so I can't be any prouder than I am to award a major S to team captain, Chloe Van Dyke. The next major S winner has a real chance to play at a high level. University coaches drool over players who can block a shot on one end, steal the ball, dribble full court through three defenders, and finish at the rim with a Euro step. That is LeBron James stuff right there. But Mackenzie St. Pierre is more than just talented. She is the ultimate teammate. She is the most coachable player I've ever met. She loves the game, and no matter what we ask her to do, and we ask a lot, she never ever complains. She just goes out and does it. Thank goodness she's returning next year. Major S, Mackenzie St. Pierre. The final major S, as well as the Best Ferguson MVP trophy for excellence and sportsmanship in girls basketball, goes to a player who reminds me of Canadian basketball legend Steve Nash. As a point guard, Steve Nash won the NBA MVP in 2005 and then somehow was even better the next year, so he won it again in 2006. Last year, Rina Takahashi was really good and won this trophy. But she was not satisfied with that. Instead, she came into the season wanting to be better. She improved her shot, which pretty well made her unguardable. She improved her decision-making, which means less turnovers and a smooth-running offense. And she improved her leadership skills so much that her teammates elected her to be a team captain. How many people earn the top prize and conclude from that they're not good enough and work their butts off to get even better? The type of person who wins back-to-back, that's who. Major S and MVP trophy, Rina Takahashi. November, early in the season, Case National Tournament. For the first time in Stanstead history, we made the finals, losing by 12 at halftime, came all the way back, tied at 41-41, 90 seconds left, and we lost, 44-41. Heartbreaking, soul-crushing. Fast forward to February. Late in the season, McLeod Provincial Tournament, losing by 5 to start the fourth quarter, come back to tie at 38-38 with 4 minutes left, and this time we go on to win. So what's the difference between reaching your potential and just falling short? It's little things. It's all the little things that you work on all season long, that your coaches make you work on, all those details. This goes for everyone in this room. All the little improvements each and every one of you made this season, the practices, the drills, those things are the difference between a 3-point loss and a 5-point victory. Little things matter. Like Mackenzie becoming more selfish, taking your shot when it's open. Chloe learning not to take off and dribble after a rebound. Jessica improving your speed in practice. Rena bounce passing with your left hand. Brianna fast breaking forward after a rebound. Ashley taking the open shot. Tanya rotating better on defense. Alyssa playing with more balance. Kayla gaining more confidence in your offense. Maya gaining more confidence in your offense. And Marie-Ange vastly improving your defensive rotations. All these little technical things made the difference. But there's also intangibles that are just as important, and all the coaches in this room know that. Playing and practicing so much together forges a bond and creates trust. You start to know where your teammate is going to be. You're on the same page more. The experience of losing or winning a close game, you don't get as rattled because you've been there before. To start this season, rightly or wrongly, I put all our eggs in one basket. I knew we were talented. I knew we could compete with anybody this season, so our potential was to win the McLeod. If we lost at the McLeod, and I was really nervous about this, I was ready to admit we had failed to reach our potential. But you guys did it. Blood, sweat, and tears, you did it. Under huge pressure, which was probably my fault, you got it done and finished this year as the most accomplished basketball team in the history of Stanstead College. Watching you guys warm up and play at senior night, I remember leaning over to Coach Wolf and saying, you know, I kind of forgot, man, these guys are good. We may never have a group like this again. It was fun watching you guys. Spinning layups, steals, three-pointers, the rhythm on offense, the block shots, the ridiculously good defense, best defense in the league. An amazing, fast twitch unit with all parts working together for each other. You guys are a joy to watch and a joy to coach. So in my opinion, as a team, you reach your potential. And although I still think it's a little arrogant, I think you've earned the right to be called the Dream Team, and I will grow an afro just for you guys. Thank you. Just about at the end, one more thing for me. I mentioned success at the beginning of the assembly. I'd like to officially end the assembly with John Wooden's definition of success. John Wooden is not the winningest coach in NCAA history. That's Pat Summitt, but he won 10 championships. He doesn't think success has anything to do with winning, and he won 10 championships. He thinks success is this. Success is the peace of mind you attain only through the self-satisfaction of knowing you made the effort to do the best of which you are capable. Thank you all for your comportment this evening. Congratulations to all the award winners. A huge thank you to all the coaches, not just for tonight, but for the entire season. MVP trophy winners, please stay behind for a yearbook photo. Everyone else, please stand as the coaches leave the church. We're done.